The iPhone 12 has become my favorite iPhone ever. I haven't been a true iPhone user since 2017 when I switched over to Android with the Pixel 2 at the time. I've had an iPhone SE at the time. I've had an iPhone SE for times during work where I do need an iPhone. And I've reviewed the iPhone 11, 11 Pro, 10R, 10S, you name it, and many more, but none of these have been appealing enough to take me out of the Android experience. But that could very well change with the iPhone 12. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Before we continue, I just want to remind you that we have a Twitch channel where we stream every Friday and Saturday from 8 p.m. and to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, so why not go ahead and drop a follow? And also don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram, and also make sure to check out the merch store. There's plenty of black and white sweetness to choose from up there, so go ahead and check that out. And then make sure to take a look at the podcast as well, as the podcast always goes live every Wednesday and Sunday. And with that said, enough rambling, let us get straight into the video. So here, what's really new about the iPhone 12 very quickly. You've got the ability of using 5G if you live near any 5G towers and you're paying for the proper service. You've got MagSafe for wireless charging and attaching other accessories that do work magnetically. We've still got our typical IP68 water and dust resistance with a new ceramic glass construction for the back panel instead of your usual glass. So it's not going to be Gorilla Glass anymore, it's going to be this new thing that Apple has. And speaking of which, let's begin this review with the exterior design. And this is the thing I love the most about this phone actually. It's still got that boxy design that resembles the iPad Pro and the earlier iPhone SE and iPhone 5, but larger. A more usable 2020 version of that design with a lot of inspiration from the iPhone 11 as well. And besides the missing headphone jack and the notch, I would consider this design to be nearly perfect. Now, the phone is much easier to hold as a result, which usually means easier to use without a case, or I should say with a very slim case. And I haven't even talked about how beautiful this phone is in general. Like from the back to the trimmings to the front, there is a lot to love here. You've got your typical buttons configuration with a mute switch on the left, and you're also going to find a volume rocker, a SIM tray as well. And then on the right, there's going to be a sleep wake button, as well as a 5G antenna cutout, which I thought was a fingerprint scanner, another way of summoning Siri, but yeah, this thing is here, so do keep that in mind. And on the bottom, you're going to find your speakers and a lightning port. This iPhone features a 6.1-inch 1170 by 2532 OLED display that looks absolutely beautiful. It is incredibly nice to have a higher resolution display on the cheaper model, finally. It is a 60Hz panel though, but that didn't bother me so much. However, this display is great for navigation, content consumption, and different apps and gaming and so much more. This is one of the best displays on any phone with very deep blacks and very bright whites. It's great for sure, and as I do, I think that many people will love it as well. However, when it comes to speakers, that's when we start getting into the bad about this phone. It does have a serial set of speakers with one speaker at the bottom and one also being on the speaker piece near the cameras right on top over here, just like the Pixel 4, as far as I'm concerned, but these are noticeably quieter and tinier than even the Pixel 4. I praised the Pixel 4 last year for having amazing speakers for a phone, and this year the iPhone definitely falls behind. So let's go ahead and have a listen. HyperX has finally released an updated version to their super popular Quadcast microphone with the Quadcast S. They added RGB lighting, a USB-C port, and software for better control. It's also a little bit more expensive than before, but HyperX has finally released an updated version to their super popular Quadcast microphone with the Quadcast S. They added RGB lighting, a USB-C port, and software for better control. It's also a little bit more expensive than before, but... And in terms of specs, here's everything that matters. We've got an Apple A14 Bionic chip, an in-house quad-core GPU, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage at the base model, two 12-megapixel 4K 60 compatible rear-facing cameras, with one being a standard focal length and the other being an ultra-wide lens, a 4K 60 front-facing camera, and all of these feature electronic image stabilization, which is awesome, and a 2,815 mAh battery. more on that soon. But for now, let's focus on the cameras. The rear-facing cameras, after further testing, completely blew my mind. I was not expecting this kind of quality from these cameras, to be completely honest. The stabilization is great on its own, but the sharpness and the colors are absolutely outstanding. Even in low light, you've got great performance with very sharp images, and whether you're taking pictures or shooting videos, you simply cannot go wrong with this phone. However, I found myself being tempted to compare it to a mirrorless camera because I honestly thought that it was that good, and I've never considered that in the past because mirrorless cameras, such as the one I'm using to shoot with, just looks a lot better. However, in this case, I'm starting to debate which one might actually look better, or really, in another case, just how close these cameras are getting to mirrorless camera quality. This is insane to me. I mean, you should see it for yourself. This camera doesn't play any games at all in this regard. And if you're shooting ultra-wide footage, and then enjoy having a very sharp GoPro-like experience because it looks really well and it's still very sharp. These cameras really make me want to make that switch to making this my primary phone even more than before. When the Pixel used to be the camera champs, now it seems like they don't really quite excel at anything besides maybe having the cleanest version of Android, but that's really about it so far. And even when it comes to the selfie camera, you've got a great module still. With pictures in portrait mode in particular, it does really well, and it's quite the aggressive performer because it really blurs out the background very extensively and it sharpens the subject very, very nicely. Even in video, I feel very comfortable with it. I have to say that this is now my favorite set of cameras so far when it comes to any smartphone at all. And battery life has been a little bit more controversial, but I would actually side with this battery being a pretty good one, because with light to medium usage, if you need your phone to last you all day, it most certainly will, and it's going to have plenty of charge left, like I would say around 30 to 40% maybe. However, if you're maybe a heavy user and you can get at around 6 hours of screen on time, if you're just straight up using it for 6 hours at a time, you could end up getting close to killing this phone, but not quite killing it. I would consider this battery life to be pretty good overall. Plus, I'm on the 4G network, so it's not like my battery is draining. However, I do still have some things about this phone and the launch in general that really bothered me here. Mostly having to do with the launch, I guess. You don't get a charging brick in the box, and I understand the environmental argument, but if you still sell the bricks separately on your store, then I've lost my faith in your credibility here. USB-C, even in 2020, isn't adapted anywhere quite yet, and Apple themselves, in some aspects, didn't even fully adapt this standard. Just last year, we got phones with USB-A bricks, so clearly that is just going to be a big miss there. And plus, if you're still manufacturing bricks to sell separately, you just wanted an excuse to get people to buy them separately. At least that's just my opinion. And that little cutout on the side was very confusing at first. I had no idea what it is, and I might still be wrong on what it is, but I was really hoping that this would be a fingerprint scanner, and clearly it isn't. Missed opportunity? Not sure, but I guess it's nice to have 5G for those who can actually use it. And also, the speakers are not good and could really use a boost in terms of quality. As you were able to hear just a little bit earlier, they definitely fall short of the Pixel 4 speakers. However, this is still a fantastic phone. I think Apple outdid themselves with this one this time around. You've got what I would consider to be a near perfect physical design with those incredibly powerful cameras and beautiful display. I love it. I love the iPhone 12, and this is coming from an Android first user. I much prefer the operating system on Android. However, will I make this my daily driver over my Pixel? I would, but the software still holds me back a bit. I love Android software, and it's still difficult to really make that shift, but I'll keep using this iPhone for now and update you guys in about 6 months. Quite some time from now, but I mean, that time might be necessary. However, if you wanted an iPhone 12, it's absolutely worth it. Highly recommended. I cannot talk you out of it. It's really good. And with that said, if you're interested in purchasing the iPhone 12, then I'll be making sure to leave an affiliate link down to Amazon in the description. And you're also going to find 2 more things down there. You're going to be finding links to Luster if you're trying to find any kind of sales on any products or anything like that. That tool is going to help you out a lot in that search. And also there's another tool called Abunda, which is going to allow you to use your link and actually pay for stuff in installments rather than paying for everything right off the bat. It works on Amazon. I think you'll really love it. So links to everything down below. If you end up using any of those links, you will be helping out the channel quite a bit, which is very well appreciated. And don't forget that we do also host a podcast that goes live every Wednesday and Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern time. However, you don't have to remember any timings if you go ahead and subscribe. And also make sure to follow me on Twitch, as I do tend to stream every Friday and Saturday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. And also every time I do a new review on a microphone, I always stream with that microphone that same night so that you guys can get a pretty cool idea of what it's like to use that microphone for streaming. So if that is something that interests you, do make sure to follow me there, and also make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter. But enough rambling around about social media. This has been Francisco from Tech Summit. Hopefully this video helped you, and I will be seeing you all later. Enjoy.